bold team, and now these haters salty. Rockin' Zenny shades to the championship ship. That Nick Bosa drop him hard like.
All right.
Oh,
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to IE Sports Radio. I'm Niners Jess, along with Ty Alston. Maddie B is at the Dwight Clark Legacy event in San Jose. And your girl Bex, we are the East Coast Red and Gold. What's going on, guys?
not much. How are you?
Doing okay. Doing okay for a Wednesday.
Rising into the
Good,
weekend,
good.
ready for that.
Yes,
Exactly.
I have
Definitely.
vacation coming up next week. I'll be the new Ty, gone for 2
Nice.
weeks.
When do you leave?
I leave Sunday. So yeah, we'll be in Hawaii for 2 weeks. So
Oh, nice.
Oh,
No.
lovely.
feel,
That's
feel
right,
bad
a
for
flying
me. It's a tough
Yeah.
Yeah. Fred Warner is getting the Dwight Clark Award, so congratulations to him.
Yeah,
That's right.
nice.
Congrats to Fred.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm sure Maddie will kind of be our correspondent next week when he comes back
Yep.
with us. Tell us how everything was. All right, guys. So before we get to the schedule, what's up to everyone in the chat?
What's
We
up?
got Beto in here,
Indeed.
Bebop,
Bebop, Brian.
Brian Culp. What's going on,
DC
everybody?
in the house.
Oh, it's official. Jake Moody is number 4.
Number 4. He signed his contract. Signed on the dotted line.
Our
He's
F
officially a
grade,
Niner.
our big negative F grade that so many people gave us.
That's right. F that.
Well, when he boots the winning field goal, that's what I said. F them, because he
That's
will
right.
he will be the reason we're going to the playoffs or something. Yeah.
But hopefully it really never comes down to that, though. I mean, sometimes it happens, but
Just let him
Or
pile
Blaze.
on points. You know.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Before we take a look at the schedule, the dust has settled with the draft.
Indeed.
Where do you guys see the 49ers in the NFC West, and the NFL as a whole?
Hmm.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
Well, I do think Philly had a good draft. I think they drafted well, even though we took one of their big marquee players. But I think we have just as good a chance as anybody, because you just don't know how injuries play a part and how any of the rookies pan out. You can draft the number 1 draft pick, and we know how many times those guys really turn into marquee, big name superstars in the NFL. So I think the dust will settle, things will shake out, but usually it's the diamonds in the rough, the rounds, the later rounds, where you find these quality players who really, really turn out to be the best possible draft choice you could have made. So I don't know. I think we're as good as anybody else, and I think our roster, with our starters that are returning, we're a contender no matter how you slice and dice the draft and what anybody's done. So,
Agreed. We didn't lose any big time players, but we did. Like, we lost Emmanuel Mosley. It's a big time player, but his replacement was there in place.
Right.
And we saw how he finished the season strong.
Yeah.
So that position is solidified, going into the season. We lost Robbie Gould, but we drafted this young kid who can one day become a Robbie Gould. That's the hope, the potential.
Right.
And that's the biggest losses on the team. Everything else is still there. The core is still there.
Yeah.
So we're still going to contend. Like, in our division, I don't care what people say about Seattle making strides and
Their big
drafting
draft,
well.
right? When you're drafting
They're still,
first.
yeah, they're still a young team. They still got a ways to go. I can see them finishing second again in the division, but not really competing with us for the division. In the NFC as a whole, I still think it's going to be the main players coming out of that. Us, Philadelphia, Minnesota will be there. I think Dallas will probably be there. You probably get an upstart like the Lions. They finished strong last season. They made some key additions this offseason. So
my cousin will be happy
play.
that you gave props to the Lions.
There you go. Props to the Lions. We got your cousin. They'll be in play.
She mentioned it before we went live.
The money's under the table.
Hit.
But I still see us beating these teams just like we did last year. We every time these competitive teams came to us and it was supposed to be a threat, a scare, we handled business. So I see us defeating them. In the AFC, you're going to have your Kansas Cities, the Bills. It's the same players. Those strong teams are going to remain, and I still feel we can compete with them. We can totally go toe-to-toe with any of them. And as long as we play our game, play 49ers football, we won't have any problem.
And stay healthy.
That's right. Health is a major factor.
Yeah.
If that stays there, no problems. Because
Mm-hmm.
we're even stronger than we were last year. If you look at us on paper, we're stronger than we were last year.
Even with the quarterback situation the way it is?
What's the situation? Other than we don't know who's going to start, right? But the two guys that are in contention, both very young, but both showed capability of keeping things going.
Yeah.
Helping the team win, making plays when they needed to be made. That's the only other than that, there's no controversy. They can both come in and get the job done. So we're sitting pretty.
And Ty, I think they're handling it very dignified and classy too. It's not like they're showing their frustrations outwardly or anything. And maybe, that's something they've all taken from the way Jimmy handled himself. Because I do think Jimmy was a class act in all of the ups and downs of his journey with the Niners. But, they seem to be handling it well. They're saying all the right things. And, they're not out there showing themselves to be frustrated and on social media talking smack to about any sort of way they're being treated or, trade talks and any of that stuff. So I don't know. I think they're young, but they seem to be handling all that pressure well. And that remains to be seen, when it's time to really compete for the job and you're the guy sitting on the bench and not starting when you were once that guy. So, and you think about it, all three of them have been starters at one point.
Yeah.
And now only one guy gets to do that. And so I don't know if we'll see any frustrations, but I think, Matt would say competition is a good thing, right? so hey.
But between them, when you hear them speak, they've said generally they all like each other. This is going back to last year with Jimmy there. There's no problems in the quarterback room. They all said that.
Personality-wise, right? They like
you all saw them support each other. When Trey started, Jimmy and Brock supported Trey. When Jimmy started, Brock and Trey supported Jimmy. When Brock started, Jimmy and Trey supported Brock. They all supported each other. I don't see that changing this year. It's a cultural thing. They have each other's back. They want to see each other succeed.
You hope that remains the case, right? Because you're right. When you looked at the sidelines with Brock starting, who was always right next to him was Trey. They're looking at the iPads, they're analyzing the data and trying to figure out how to get the job done, right? But that being said, you had a guy who's injured, so you're not the guy who can start. But what happens when they're all healthy and capable of being the starter? Does that change the dynamic at all? When you're in that down position where you're not able to be the guy, you've got to support the guy who can be.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of the unknown that we haven't seen yet is what do you have when you have three healthy guys in the room? do you start to see any sort of jealousy or infighting or resentment? Hopefully not the case. That I don't think so, but when you have competitive minds and spirits, you might start to see a little dark side. I hope not, but
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, the way this regime is, I think everybody supports one another.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Beto actually made a good point. Seems like the quarterbacks in the quarterback room support each other more than 49ers fans support each other.
It's true. It's true. Like all the controversy always comes from like us, the outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Within the team, you don't hear anything. Like you don't hear about Brandon Ayuk complaining that Deebo Samuels gets more footballs or vice versa, or the running backs complaining that CMC gets more touches than they do. You don't hear about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But we always drum this up. Oh, this guy should run more. Why isn't Kyle doing this? Why? Oh man, if I would go to Kyle and say I want the ball.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
But nobody's even doing that.
Alone, exactly. No one's doing that. But for some reason, fans like to stir the pot.
They do.
Fans and national media.
Oh yeah.
David McNiner in the house. What's going on,
David?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to compete. I know, like, even if you saw like last year, like some photos, like, like Trey and Brock are hugging one another, I mean, they said on Radio Row in Super Bowl week that, that they're going to compete. I think I've said that a couple dozen times already. But yeah, I know there's no quarterback situation. I just wanted to see Ty get all.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody's like, when you hear like the national media speak, those morons, they're always like the quarterback situation, the controversy, and it's like, what controversy? You're creating it. They're fine. They're not even there. That's the funny part about all this. They're not even there. Right? We had one OTA meeting. Other than that, they weren't even there, and they're just drumming this stuff up. And it's like, these guys are working out. Some are on vacation. They're with their families.
Right.
Why are you trying to create this controversy? It's terrible.
Terrence said, I think everyone needs to take a chill pill when it comes to the Niners quarterbacks and just let them do their thing.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Agreed.
Yeah. It's like they haven't even thrown a football and they're trying to create this controversy. It's like, chill. Can they
Brock can't throw until June, so
right. It's like, can we let them like get in the building, do what they need to do to get on the field, and then we can start talking about them, please.
And then speaking of national media, Ian Rappaport is still on the Sam Darnold train. And it seems that the Niners had reached out to him to kind of shut that down and pretty much say, hey, what about Trey?
They told them to stop lying. That's what they did. Because if you notice, and everybody out there listening, this is the first time he actually said, I spoke with the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Everything before this, he never said that. This is a guy who has contacts to everyone. He works for NFL Network. He can get on the phone and call anyone at any time. He never did it. He never spoke to anyone in the organization until they called him and said, dude, could you stop lying? Hello. Hello. Everything he said up to this point has been absolutely false, a lie.
Speculation on his part.
I'm not using speculation. I'm not using false narratives.
Like, I'm going full gauntlet.
Lie.
Flat out lying. Flat out lying.
Shut
your mouth. The 49ers are going to sign Tom Brady. Lie. Trey Lance is going to be traded before the draft. Lie. He's going to be traded during the draft. See how that changed quickly? Lie.
Well, I mean, John Lynch did say they had the trade conversation with Trey Lance, so
we touched on that last.
May not have been a lie. Maybe
come on now. Okay. So he said
hyper embellishment, perhaps, but John Lynch out of his own mouth.
Okay, but he didn't say that. Look, like we're looking to move you. Where like they were fielding calls, they weren't making the calls.
He said we had conversations with Trey about
the trade,
all of the discussions around the trade talk. Yes,
the trade talk that's happening.
He didn't disclose what exactly
who was the
that
guy.
meant.
Think about it. Who was the guy driving the trade talk train?
But Ty,
no one in the 49ers. It's the guy. I'm in New York. It's the guy sitting downtown who didn't even bother to call the 49ers.
We had a conversation with Trey about the trade talks. He didn't disclose whether or not he confirmed or denied those said trade talks. He just said we had a conversation.
And what was the trade talks? John Lynch said it himself. People calling, asking questions.
Well, whatever
is.
What
if the question was simply, hey, we keep hearing from this guy that trades available, that you're going to trade him.
If you're calling about a trade,
I never heard it from you, John.
You're not calling to say,
what's going on?
Rappaport's reporting you're going to trade him. You're calling to say, hey, what do you want for him? What's the price? What are we talking? You're not calling to go, Ian Rappaport. I heard a rumor.
That's not how I roll.
Right?
If you and Jess are having a conversation and I hear a third party, I'm going to call you up and say, hey, I heard this. Is it true? Yes or no? I'm not just going to assume that this person knows what he's talking about. I'm going directly to the horse's mouth, right?
It's kind of like going car shopping. If you know this person's willing to bargain, you don't.
We've moved on from socks and underwear, everyone.
But time out.
What's your price? No, I would be so if you're shopping this car, what do I have to do to get this car? What do you want for this car?
How do you know the person is shopping the car if the person never said I'm shopping the car?
Because everyone's shopping. Everyone's available for a price.
No.
I think
no.
so.
Nick Bosa's not available.
You may not be willing to pay said price.
That's not the way it goes. That's not the way it goes. That's not the
Everyone
way it
has
goes.
a price tag.
Everyone does have a price.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
That doesn't mean you're going to pay it. That doesn't mean you're going to.
Well, hold on. Exactly. That doesn't mean I'm shopping. I can inquire. I can window shop.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean I'm buying.
I can't afford a Ferrari, so I'm not going to go shop for one.
That doesn't mean the other person. There you go, David. That doesn't mean the other person is exactly selling. You know? All day, every day, by the way.
You're selling my daughter. She's like, I will only talk to people about certain things. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are good?
They called Ian just to be like, yo, man, you guys shut up.
We're good.
Enough
is enough. Good.
Yeah, we're good. It's good debate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, everyone has a number. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure a team called up and said, hey,
don't
do it. Available. No, but, I'm willing to listen.
Absolutely.
I think we paid a lot for him. We paid a lot for him. So, we would want some of that return on investment back.
Exactly.
Okay, that's cool.
We bought a
Ferrari. Is Brock Purdy available? You only paid a 7 for him. I got a 3rd and a 4th for you.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so exactly.
That could have happened.
Ferrari and not taking.
They could have called up and say, "Hey, Nick Bosa, we talked about this before. Hey, Nick Bosa, I'm willing to put a 1st and a 3rd on the table for him right now. Leave me alone, John Lynch. Leave me alone." Exactly. Just because you asked doesn't mean it's happening. That's
no. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying that it is happening, but I am saying he very definitely said we had that conversation, because I'm sure if the right offer hit the table, it would have been a done deal.
But he also said he wasn't actively shopping him.
I don't think he was actively shopping him, but I do believe the phone lines are open for everyone all the time.
Right. And you said the right offer hitting the table. He also said no offer ever hit the table.
I never said
so. That was
no
that was another Ian Rappaport lie. When he said teams called and was asking about trading for him. If you want to trade for a player, you got to make an offer. No offer was ever made. So finally, it's like, yo, you know what, Ian, you got to shut up.
Well, I mean,
you're telling too many lies, and you never spoke to us.
That's my Ferrari Toyota example. Like, you know what we paid for him. You're not going to slide in and be like, hey, what are you willing to offload trade for? I got like a third and a fifth. We gave up firsts and seconds and all this, we gave up the farm practically to get him. So we're not giving him up for cheap. No doubt, right? No doubt. Exactly. We're not giving anybody up for cheap. But to say that he wasn't on the trading block and that it wasn't an available shopping, I disagree with. I think at any given moment,
he was officially never on the block. John said it himself. They never put it out there that he was available. That was started by the media. Now, people called and inquired, and he listened as any smart businessman would.
Absolutely.
You listen. But he also
said, in the dark time.
No one ever made me an offer. He said that. Right. No one ever made us an offer. So the idea
didn't hear him
of
say that. I did not hear Don Lynch say those words out loud.
Jess, you heard that, right?
Yeah. He did say that.
He said team.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he said no team ever made him an offer.
Okay,
so
I did not.
Even if they did,
so think about that.
We were not moving on from Trey Lance.
Yeah, think about that. The team wasn't putting him out there that he was going to be traded. Didn't put him on the block. No one ever made him an offer. So how was he being traded? Like, it takes two to dance.
Socks and underwear.
Yeah, we've moved on to car shopping this week. Yeah. We're not,
that's right. We're on the car shopping. We're on the bigger items.
Cars this week.
But you always need socks and underwear.
Yes.
Tell him about
it. I have the essentials.
Maddie is at the Dwight Clark Legacy event in California.
Yes.
Benefiting the Golden Heart Foundation.
Wonderful event. Hey, Sin.
What's going on, Sin? All right. Let's jump into the schedule.
The
couple things.
The opponents. We don't know the exact schedule, but we know the opponents.
Right. Sorry.
Let's home and away games.
We know we're not going abroad.
We are not going to London. We are not going to Germany, which kind of stinks. I kind of knew we weren't going to Germany. I knew Kansas City was going out there. Yeah. Hopefully in the near future we go out to Germany because I will be there.
Yes.
Germany is such a fun country. And I think that would be pretty cool. And they have a really cool Niners chapter out there as well.
They do.
So yeah, they're not going abroad. They're going to Jacksonville. Which I think that is on my list of games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got that.
But first I want to start with the NFC West, of course. We got the Cardinals, Seahawks, Lambs. What do you guys think with the division games?
Well, I think we can sweep them again. I think it could be another division sweep. Like I said, the Seahawks is the only team capable of competing with us, and I think we can handle them. Just like I always think we can handle them. The only team capable of beating us in the division is us.
Yeah,
if some weird equipment malfunction happens, someone goes down, we make stupid mistakes, right? That's the only way. Other than that, we should handle business easily. Seattle, like I said, they're young. I don't think they're ready.
I feel like they're all rebuilding right now, and we've got a solid, great group of guys. And
Hey, John V.
I would agree with Ty's assessment that, we are definitely in the power position. We are the strongest team. Even if they had great drafts and what have you, they've got young players, and I think, our guys are going to handle it. Whether we sweep again, I don't know if we do that, but the outlook is good for it to happen.
Yeah. I'd say we go at least 5-1 in the division.
Yeah. Agreed. Like somebody might get lucky and beat us on a down day, or we're full of injuries or something. But
the only game that worries
me, that one loss
is,
comes from the Seahawks.
I was about to say the only game that worries me is playing Seattle in Seattle, because weird things always happen.
Always happen there, right?
Even when we played them last year, weird things always happens. Brandon Ayuk drops an easy open pass. Robbie Gould missed a field goal. Like weird things just happen in that building. It's weird. Like we get a pick six, the refs call it back. We got to fight the refs too. Right. Like it's always something in Seattle. So that's the only game that I'm always leery about.
Well, I'm going to try and go to that game if it works out in my schedule. So.
All right. Nice.
In Seattle?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Seattle's lovely. And the Seattle faithful.
Yet is Seattle in Seattle. It never seems to work. I've always had a conflict. So I'm trying to, when the schedule comes out, like book it and be done. Yeah, exactly. Cincinnati won't be a slouch this year either. That'll be a cool game.
True. Yeah. We're just focusing on the NFC West right now. Jumping the gun, John B. John B. Always causing trouble.
Keep it with the NFC West, man. The Cardinals, I don't think they're not doing anything. I think the Cardinals are going to be done for a really long time.
A couple of years. Yeah, they'll need some time.
The Seahawks, I like how they drafted.
Yeah.
They like I said, I think we lose to them once. They always seem to give us some type of issue, like Ty alluded to. But and then the Lambs, I don't even know if they have a team. They got rid of everybody.
Yeah, I know. They're like super rebuilding.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But we're supposed to beat teams like that, though. So I really hope that we take advantage of that and do that.
Yeah.
The NFC East. We got Dallas, Giants, Washington, and Philly. Go ahead, Becca.
Well, I mean, if you listen to the local pundits, they all had great drafts, right? Everybody loves what they did in the draft. I don't know. I think the Giants have had a little time to build, and they might be a sleeper that we got to pay attention to. I think our team is way better and much better suited than theirs. But if we slip, have an off day, they could potentially, be that team that gives us that, like, how do we lose to this team loss that we always seem to have. Philly, I think, is going to be another slobber knocker. And if it's really, truly in December, they did it by design. At the end of the season, when both teams are headed for the playoffs, they want it to be a preview of playoff type of thing to hype it up. So, I just see that one being a big one. Dallas is always Dallas. You never know. They might have a good game. They might be garbage. That's Dallas. But, we them boys.
They them boys.
We them boys. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Washington, we're not worried about.
I forgot.
I don't even think they got a quarterback right now. Like,
that's how Becca sees the Commanders. Doesn't even.
Yeah, exactly. You only have to mention them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those guys.
Yeah, so you're talking about really the real stiff competition is going to be, Giants, Philly, and Dallas. Dallas games always weirdly tough, and it seems like we make it tough on ourselves.
Yeah,
kinda.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like like I don't think that playoff game we played them should have been that close.
right.
Definitely not.
Kind of shot ourselves in the foot a lot, which let them linger around, and it's always dangerous when you let a team linger around.
We have that knack though sometimes.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see them in the regular season in San Francisco, because it seems like in the regular season we always travel to Dallas for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see them at home, and when we play them, it's going to be early or late, because that's one of those playoff implication games also. But the NFL can't schedule all of them at the end of the season, right? so it's like one of them have to be early.
Mid to early.
And I'm thinking that could be one of those early primetime marquee matchups, The Giants up and coming, but Daniel Jones is still hit or miss. You never know what you're going to get with him, right? It's like he'll look good against average and below teams,
or even against division rivalry like Philly.
That he knows.
Lights out game against Philly.
Yeah, and that he knows them, right?
Commanders, right?
But against, a contender outside division that he doesn't know,
right,
tends to stink it up.
Yeah.
he looked kind of decent when they played Minnesota.
He did.
Yeah, but Minnesota is Minnesota.
That's true.
Like, they are so hit and miss, and we're going to touch on them later, but that's one of those teams that's really kind of a average team that kind of benefits from being in a weaker division, So they have that going for them. So I think those games are going to be tough. Those 3 games there.
Yeah.
And Philly, I didn't touch on Philly. We know that's going to be like our regular season Super Bowl right there. That's the one all the players have circled on their calendar. All know they all feel robbed about the NFC Championship game. Deebo Samuel is still talking about it.
Have you guys seen the Kelsey Brother podcast where they have Brock Purdy on? And they talked to him.
I still got to watch it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Because even Jason Kelsey was like, we really felt bad. Like, we knew you couldn't throw the ball. And we kind of were a little disappointed ourselves that we didn't really get to play a game. We knew the game was over and it wasn't even fair. So he's like, we felt like, man, this isn't even a cool way to win. Like they kind of felt that way too. Like they knew they had it, but it was a crappy way to win.
Yeah.
So, I think they're looking forward to a real head-to-head.
Some real competition, yeah.
But
a real game.
Just podcast. If you didn't see it, it's worth the 30.
Yeah, I got to go watch it. So I got to go check it out.
Go see it.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. It was pretty good.
They totally, Travis was nothing but glowing. They both were, like Brock, you lit it up. Like we just couldn't. You were so much fun to watch. Like they were just really. It was much funner than I thought it was going to be to watch. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a cool little podcast with Brock on there.
Man, to think that if we had a healthy Brock Purdy, we could have been in the Super Bowl.
They flat out asked, like, do you think we would have won? He said, I don't know. I think our chances were pretty good. He didn't hold back, in his shy little cute demeanor that he has. He's like, I think, yeah. They asked. They did ask if he could throw left-handed, and he said no, but he's been working on that in the offseason.
Yeah, I saw that clip. Yeah, that's the one clip I saw from it where they asked him that, and he said he's been working on it this offseason.
I've been working on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a fun interview, totally cute and fun. Go watch it. It was great.
For me with Dallas, I think Dallas is always going to be Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
They actually had a really good draft.
Always do. That's the
Yeah,
team that
true.
drafts what Jerry
That's very
believes
true.
in building through the draft, not so much signing free agents. So that's their MO. I'm
They
sure
just
he
can't
prays
really
his
seem to
scouts
put
a
it
lot.
together.
I will give
Yeah.
them the best draft moment ever when their scout got to call his son and tell them that he was drafted.
Drafted, yeah.
Like
That was very cool.
Somebody was
Yeah,
cutting
Deuce
onions in the
Vaughn.
room. I just couldn't like, hold it
I wanted
together.
him for the Niners. I think he's
Ah.
short, but he's quick. He would have been a good fit.
His dad getting to call him and tell him he got drafted, I was like, stop it.
Yeah. Who's cutting the onions? Yeah.
I was just going to say that.
I was like, oh, make it stop. I'm crying over Dallas's draft choice. Like, make it stop right now. No, that was just a beautiful moment, and I will give them that. That's my one Dallas prop moment.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They drafted Fehoko too, which I really wanted him as well from San Jose State. But yeah, they had a really good draft. Like Ty said, they usually always do. The G-men, I think they're going to be hit or miss.
Yeah.
I think they were one of those teams that kind of hit at the right time last year.
Mhm.
And well, like John B said, like time will tell with Daniel Jones, because he got paid.
Yep.
Saquon Barkley, though, isn't happy. So who knows what that'll do.
Win a couple games, that'll change an attitude quick too. So you never know. I mean,
winning changes a lot.
Yeah.
It does.
Change a whole
Winning
lot.
helps a lot as well.
Saquon changes his whole mind if they start to win, but if they're in the tank, then that's going to be a tough place to play out of. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then you go to the other New Jersey team, if you will, the Jets, and everyone's calling for them to win the Super Bowl.
To win the Super Bowl.
Oh well, they've
It's
got
hard.
A-Rod
It's hard.
now, so I mean.
It's
Jesus
hard living up
Christ
here
has
right now.
arrived in New York,
It is
the
super hard.
Meadowlands.
It is super hard living over here.
People, you don't know, it's real hard living in this New York, New Jersey area right now with Aaron Rodgers coming to the Jets. Oh my God. No other teams exist. Let me tell
Saddle up,
you.
kids. Saddle
Just
up.
give them the trophy now. That's the way it is.
Seriously. I mean, they pretty much brought like half of Green Bay for him.
Well, I mean, between what he took from the Niners and what they've taken from Green Bay, they might cobble together an okay football team. But
John V was on you on the Fehoko pick. You wanted him to...
I definitely, I really wanted him. Ryan Beal Jr. might be better for us if he can use that speed.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely see
rusher.
that.
Yep.
Bits of that possibly tomorrow because rookies report.
I
think it's more of a report day tomorrow than anything, but Friday for sure. The Commanders, I don't know. I think they're still going to be sitting where they usually are.
Yeah.
Low.
Exactly. And then Philly. Philly drafted most of Georgia. But I don't know. They're good on paper. I think the whole hype machine, I think that's going to die down. And then we'll see because I think right now it's all hype for the Eagles. And I think that'll die down and, we'll see what they're really like. I think Ty, you had mentioned today that it looks like week 13.
Yeah, they've come out and said it's going to be in week 13.
Okay.
So first week of December. Yeah. Rebecca mentioned it also. So yeah.
They were announcing that Fox was allowed to announce 2 games.
Yeah.
Today and then tomorrow ahead of the schedule release. The Today Show and CBS will be releasing 2 more games, and they were going to release the international stuff. So we'll know a handful of games ahead of time, but these guys tend to like leak a little stuff, right? Especially the hour leading up to it. They start to get
Yeah, Twitter will definitely be on fire with that tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm probably one of the very few, but I like watching the show.
I always do. I mean, now it's a big deal. It's now a whole production to get the schedule released.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's fun. Hey, whatever. I'm like,
yeah, that's why like a day like tomorrow, I try to like stay off of Twitter because I don't know. I kind of like to be like surprised and, you know, and then kind of be like, all right, well, I gotta get going with these tickets.
Hotels and
yeah, right. Where am I going with these tickets? I got to get this. I got to do that. Yeah. So that starts tomorrow at crazy time. Well, you know what? Speaking of games, what games do you guys think you're going to?
I don't know. We've got a lot of East Coast choices this year. I think we have the second most miles to travel as a team.
Yep. So, East Coast, we're loaded.
Yes, thank you, John. 100%.
Yeah, agree, John.
Yes,
John V. Totally agree. It's
and it's late. They used to announce this stuff in April. Now they keep pushing it out and dragging it out. Like, no, I want to book my flights. I want to book my schedule. I need to know. I need to know things.
And I even think like Peter King had said that the schedule wasn't even ready.
Yeah, it wasn't. Like, what are they doing?
Well, what are they waiting on?
Like the schedule makers got one job.
Yeah,
one job.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite saying.
And you knew the opponents last year.
Already, we know.
So what's the holdup?
Start dropping that stuff in the schedule, man. Come on.
Yeah, they used to announce it as early as my birthday.
Right, like early mid-April, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Now it's a whole production, a whole night, a whole show. Fine, I guess. But now you're announcing it 3 days before I'm leaving for 2 weeks of vacation. I don't have money. You're like messing with my bank account.
That's right. Messing with people's budgets here. Come on.
Yeah, right.
Some of us got to plan this stuff.
Finances, not cool.
Not cool at all.
I actually, it would be kind of cool if the Giants were a home opener.
That's what Wendy and I have said. So my friend is a Giants season ticket holder.
Oh boy, so, sorry to hear that.
Oh well, she's lived here her whole life. She's a Jersey girl.
There you go.
Lifelong, but she comes out every game with the Niners, and we go all over California, do our thing. Everyone's nice to her at the tailgates, what have you. So we have a good time, and we both understand the assignment. Like, you can't just go and misbehave when it's here or there. So we just, whoever wins and loses, we just suck it up and deal with that. But yeah, so no, she already knows, like, we're booking whatever, when the schedule comes out, we're booking our stuff. And if it's home opener, how cool is that? Like, that is going to be,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool for sure.
Good weekend, good time, good people.
Yes. All right. So moving to the NFC South, we got Tampa Bay. What do you think, Ty?
They lost key guys. They have no quarterback. Like that's one of those games that should be an easy win. There are no easy wins in the NFL, but that's one of those where we should handle business easily. and we're not sweating in the fourth quarter saying, come on, like the game should be in hand.
Why are we like within 3 points, right?
Exactly. The game should be in hand. So I got that down. It's at home. I got that down as a W for sure. What's up, Aaron?
Hey, Aaron. Yeah, that should definitely be a win. I mean, like I said earlier, this is yet another team that we should actually take advantage and beat.
Yep.
Right.
Becca, what do you think?
No, I don't disagree. I think at this point we are definitely the better team, and there should be no reason why we don't win that game. Without a doubt. I don't see them having anything to stop us unless we do it to ourselves.
Yep.
That's true. Before we get to the rest, what's up to everybody in the chat? Make sure you like and subscribe to us, the East Coast Red and Gold, on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Yeah, and did you guys know for the last eight, my camera's blocking my hands. For the last 8 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content, ranging from interviewing legendary athletes to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country, even in the city you're in. Yes, indeed. All the while, they've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and with your help, they're ready to take the next step. When you go to the IE Sports Radio website, that's iesportsradio.com, you'll see their Patreon link with 5 different tiers. First one starting at just $5 a month, very low. This donation gets you shout outs on all the shows. Higher tiers includes IE Sports Radio merch, access to Podcast University, and even a chance to be featured on a segment of the flagship show, The Defining Moment. Thank you for all your continued patronage and help in making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And also iesportsradio.com/East Coast Red and Gold. And next week, it'll be 9 years.
That's right.
Wow.
9th anniversary coming up.
Yes.
Coming up.
Thank you, Ty.
Welcome.
Good job.
I try.
Woo-hoo!
I got your back, Matt. I got your back.
Yes. Maddie B.
Hello
would be
there.
proud.
What's up? Nando
All
in
right.
the house.
NFC North, the Vikings.
Vikings.
Go ahead, Becca.
Vikings. I mean, I think they're going to be a solid team, and I think they're going to play hard. And depending on the schedule and what time of year, and again,
Are we going to go after Kirk Cousins?
Oh,
Know,
that is why I am dreading this game. Because it's going to be the Kirk Cousins reunion talk game. Oh my God.
I mean, I do think there's Kyle does have a fanboy love for Kirk Cousins. And maybe he's going to be salty that we didn't pursue him in the offseason.
Well, I think this is actually Kirk Cousins' last season.
That's it.
Right?
This is the last year of his contract.
The
And they didn't
revenge
give him an
tour for
extension yet.
him.
Haven't renewed anything. So all the talk is going to be focused on Kirk Cousins to the 49ers.
I should never brought it up because now I'm dreading it.
See, that's why I was dreading it.
I mean, it's been brought up 1,000 times because when, like every year with trades and rumors and Jimmy going here and Jimmy's not coming back and then Jimmy comes back. Right? Like Kirk Cousins been in that conversation 1,000 times. So I would never rule that out ever because it's Kyle and Kirk Cousins, and he has some skill. He's the best guy up. I don't know that he is, but he's probably going to try and play to prove himself that he's still a relevant guy in the NFL. He's a good quarterback. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I think this is one of those games that could be a toss-up for us, depending on the health of both teams. It just going to come down to that in the time of the year. And if it's early and we lose some fluky game early because we're just trying to get our feet wet, who knows? We've lost those kind of games. But if it's mid-season and it's a real good tough competition, it's probably going to be a good toss-up game. It's going to be a good game. But we'll see.
I think that's one of those that we have to win because it is the NFC, and given like what happened last year, like at the very end with like seeding and everything.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, we definitely want to win for those reasons too, for sure.
Yeah. John B says, family, I stand firmly behind my beliefs that Cousin in the system would be really good. That doesn't mean I want him, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I mean by the love fest. Kyle knows him, he knows system, and I think that they both have a good, synergy and fit for one another, but doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Money and all those priorities. Right. Lots of things come into play.
They like a cheap quarterback room.
That's so they're banking on that. Yes. So that's key to it.
Right now, we've got some big linebackers to pay.
Yeah, we got.
We have one Nick Bosa to pay as well.
We do. That's what I'm talking about. I don't think that's done yet.
So
no, that probably won't be done till training camp.
And, Kirk, he likes his guaranteed money. So he's like he's pricing himself out of our stratosphere.
Yeah,
but that's one of those teams. Yeah, that could be a tough game because they do play good defense. They have weapons galore. Dalvin Cook is one of the better running backs in this league. When he gets hot, he gets cooking. So it could definitely be a tough game. It's a matter of like what Rebecca said. What time of the year we play them? Are they on their streaky side? Because Minnesota tends to get streaky, or are they in their true color side where they're stinking it up? And what is Kirk himself doing? Yeah. Is he playing like he looks like the man, or is he playing like Kurt with a T, Cousins? Like who is this guy? So
who's the Kurt with the T guy out there playing?
Yeah, like who's that guy out there?
Not my quarterback.
Right. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I forget, is the game home or away? It's away, right?
That's away. It's in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay. That's right, because I think Maddie was talking about going to that game.
In December and cold and really just a crappy environment for us to play in, and you just never know. That's all things.
But that's actually they're inside.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
It's a beautiful controlled environment, so we don't have to worry about the elements there.
Yep, Justin Jefferson's another.
Yep. They got, like I said, they got weapons. Yeah. So it all depends on like which quarterback shows up.
Well, I think we have a revamped secondary, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah. Let's go to the AFC North. We got Baltimore, Cincy, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. All right, now John B, now you can say about Cincinnati. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah. So this is tough right here. Those are tough teams, and 2 of the 3 are at home. That's a good thing, right? We got a little home field advantage. They have to come all the way west, but those games are not going to be easy. The Baltimore game, that's going to be a black and blue game. We know they love to hit. We love to hit. It's going to be one of those games. The Bengals got the best trio of receivers in the league. So it's like Steve Wilkes has got his job cut out for him that week on how to defend those 3 guys, because that is not going to be easy. I still think we can beat them. We played Cincinnati 2 years ago in 2020, and our team was all banged up, and we beat them. It took overtime to do it, but we still got the win. So I think we match up well with them from that standpoint, and we can move the ball against their defense and get things done. Baltimore is all about stopping Lamar. We know that. You get some pressure on him. You keep him contained. We can control them. And seeing what we did against Jalen Hurts, how we contained him from running in the NFC Championship game, gives me hope that we can do that for him as well. And traveling to Pittsburgh finished the year kind of strong. They're a young team. They got young weapons. Cody Pickett at QB. He's still learning. But that's one of those like East Coast road games where anything can happen. I think we win it. I'm confident that we will. But it's always weird being on the East Coast and we don't know how long we'll be on the East Coast. That's another thing. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think we have so many East Coast games that we'll have some of those stacked back to back where we'll either stay over in Ohio or West Virginia, somewhere where we can have that layover spot to not ping pong.
Kyle also said that he wasn't sure that they were going to do that because it seems that it kind of hurts them more than it helps sometimes.
Yeah, he mentioned that. So, but we'll see. It all depends on how the schedule shapes up.
Yeah.
But we have so many East Coast games. Like we might potentially have 3 in a row.
That's what I was about to say.
Or something. Like there's a lot of East Coast road games for us this year. So I don't know. I mean, whether we do or we don't, either way, I can't imagine how it. I don't know why it would hurt because once you acclimate to, I always find it better to acclimate and be on the time zone, and then you get your groove back. But I don't know for players and their training if that really makes a difference. But I think all those things are relevant factors. Health, the travel. If you're ping ponging back and forth, that could impact your sleep, your training, all those things. So you never know, but I agree, Ty, with Pittsburgh. I think they're young. I think they're kind of an unknown. I don't think that's a guaranteed loss or win. But the other teams, I agree, they're going to be. We've got. I don't know. I saw the strength of schedule. They had us in the middle,
that's right,
and I thought that was kind of a low ranking for our schedule. That is pretty low that they said we were 15th or something. I was like, wow, really? Because it looks a little harder on paper than what they've given us. But,
And Seattle has the most mileage that they're traveling.
Yeah, they're just ahead of us. Yeah. So I agree. I think no game's going to be easy. And some of these games are really going to come down to who's healthy and how well we're playing and what our quarterback situation has, shaken out to be and who's clicking and how well we don't often come out of the gate hot. So, we might have those quirky 1 or 2 losses, and that could be a Baltimore or a Pittsburgh or somebody, depending on where we're playing and where the schedule falls. So, it's all, throw the cards up and.
Kyle Shanahan, he should stay on the East Coast though. Don't be a West Coast homer, Like, come on, man. To keep the team on the East Coast, let them acclimate, let them stay a little bit grounded.
He's not on screen today, so he's thinking about it.
I see that. I know he's off working. He's got.
Listen, if you drive I-64, you can actually look over and see the practice fields on.
That's right.
West Virginia.
We want to go hang out at the Greenbrier.
At the Greenbrier,
way in.
Road trip.
Right. I can make us some fake press credentials. We'll slip right on in.
I know some people. I am a homer there, so
that's right.
I can get some
Max
hooch.
has connections.
Listen, I got the connection for the homemade hooch.
You had me at hooch. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. You want lemonade, apple pie? What flavor?
Now it's a party.
Yeah, hey. You can't go into the hills and not drink some moonshine. Come on.
Bring that back to some of the security. Hey, got a little something for you.
Right. I got some hillbilly hooch hiding right here in the corner.
I think, well, you know what? We've come a long way from socks and underwear from last week.
We've devolved into moonshine.
Car shopping and moonshine.
That's right.
You never know.
Philly has the toughest strength of schedule.
Hey, what's up, Callie? What's up, CG? Thanks for tuning in.
As they should.
Yeah, Philly's got a tough one. As they should. The 2 Super Bowl teams should always have a tough schedule.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Baltimore concerns me a little bit because we always have an issue with mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But Ty, like you said last year with like Jalen Hurts, like that was pretty promising. And let's see what Steve Wilkes will do.
Yeah.
Definitely need to contain Lamar Jackson. OBJ is there now. Yep. Although I don't really consider him as much as a threat as I used to.
Yeah.
But needless to say, he's still there. Cincinnati won't be easy. But I think we have a good chance against them. Cleveland, I think the Browns are always going to be the Browns.
Yeah. Browns going brown.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Pittsburgh, like Ty said, they're a young team. Mike Tomlin, really good coach. Always has his guys ready.
They'll fight you. They'll compete. They'll fight you for 60 minutes. It's not an easy win, but I think we can take care of them.
I think we actually, under Steve Wilkes, I think we actually blitz a lot more.
I think he's going to bring some heat from everywhere.
That's one of his specialties. We've talked about that before.
Yeah. All right. And then the AFC South, we got Jacksonville.
Duval.
Go ahead, Becca.
I mean, I think it's a win for us. They seem to play a little better at the end of the season last year, but I still we take that game, and it's in a great spot. So good fun, good sun.
Oh yeah. I think Shanahan goes in with the same game plan as he did in 2021, where you just kind of like ran the ball down their throats. We had like a drive that went like 19 minutes or some ridiculous number like that. It was like a 19-play, 15-minute drive, some ridiculous number like that.
Got the whole quarter on lock.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's going to go in with the same thing. The team hasn't changed that much. They've actually lost some pieces on defense since then. So I think it's a win. I think we come away with that win easily. It's just a different class of teams going at it there.
Yeah, I think we come away with that win. I know there's a lot of Niners fans in that area too.
Yeah.
So
they really are. The Florida faithfuls are deep down there.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we win that game. So out of all the teams that we went over, who do you think we lose to? Like, what's our record?
Ooh,
17-0, baby.
You said me, Ty. Like I'm
our
always
record on the year is 20-0.
Anyone?
Not losing to anybody. 20-0 over the Lombardi. There you go.
We're winning the Super Bowl every year.
Book it.
What he said. But the realist part of it is we probably lose one divisional game this year for sure. And that's probably, potentially Seattle, but I think that can go to anybody. To me, it's always the most unexpected loss is always to the divisional rivalry that you should beat and you don't, because you play them so often and somebody like Arizona is going to sneak in and win a game or something, just some rando thing. And it always happens. So for us to run the table last year, pretty awesome and rare, but somebody's going to beat us. One of those teams are going to beat us in our division. It always happens. And definitely see that happening. But I think the rest of it's going to come down to health and, consistency and getting our quarterback situation squared away and somebody really, really clicking and taking off. I don't know. I think we could have 3-4 losses and, still be in a great position. But who knows? I think health and, the quarterback stability part of that is going to really play a big piece of it.
Yeah.
What the dog agrees.
Yeah, the dog agrees. Fully on board. She's fully on board.
that was like perfect.
Yeah, I know. Good timing, Luna.
Well, alrighty then.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I see us like beating ourselves in Seattle as definitely a possibility. And then one of these good teams that I know how the schedule makers love to do this, and they do this every year. They give us this gauntlet of games that we have to go through, where every week it's like a playoff contending team.
It's always the best team.
Yeah, it's always the best team. So we're gonna get like in a row, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Minnesota will be in there, Dallas, all those in a span, going just back to back, right? So there's definitely a game in there that we could just be beat up and fall to one of those teams.
Yeah.
And then there's just a trap game like the Rams, who on paper have no business dealing with us. My dog's name is Luna, Beto. Like the moon, because she's like a moon gray color. But there's a team like the Rams who have no business competing against us. We're like, they're on their third string quarterback and we wind up losing somehow. And it's like, how did that happen?
But it might be because we went zigzagging for 3 weeks in a row, back and forth across East West Coast, and now we're home and everybody's dog tired, and the Rams sneak in and win one or something.
Yeah,
like those are kind of those games. There's always a weird game like that happens, and it's
So
I could see us playing on Monday night against Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
That's East Coast thing.
And that'd be great because it's on Luna.
All right. But I agree with what Brian said. I get no more than 3 losses on a year, really, with all things being equal.
Yeah, that's what I figured too.
Our team,
3-ish losses.
I actually see us losing to Seattle and losing to Cincy.
There you go.
And that's it for me.
There you go. Fair assessment.
I mean, that's a great assessment as well. I'm giving one more of those like weird losses because we have such a back and forth travel schedule.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one thing we won't know until tomorrow, what the actual travel will look like, how much back and forth we're going to have to do.
Yeah.
Is there even going to be a situation where we can stay at Greenbrier? Like they might schedule us, in something weird, like we play Jacksonville, but then we play Minnesota. Like, that's kind of a far distance between the two teams.
Thank you.
Yeah. We go all the way from all the way south to all the way north, right? So what the actual schedule looks like is going to be very intriguing. Yeah. It's going to tell us a lot.
All right. Rookie minicamp. They report tomorrow.
Indeed.
Probably out on the field on Friday. Who are you guys excited to see?
Jake Moody, of course.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think our kicker, because he's going to play such an important role in the season.
We need those kicker points.
Doing a podcast in Chicago. I think he's unofficially retired. So, yeah.
No, but seriously, Moody is a guy because from what Robbie, straight out of Robbie's mouth, kicking in Levi's can be tricky, the way the wind swirls. It's not as calm as it looks. And we've seen other kickers miss there as well. And Robbie, being the vet and confident guy that he is, he figured it out quick. So it's whether Jake can figure it out quick. We know he played in Michigan and played in Wisconsin and all these bad places with wind and bad weather. So hopefully he can get a grasp of it and figure it out quick and, keep the ball going through the uprights.
Well,
other than him,
he picked in Michigan, so that bodes well too.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
And lots of dramatic weather. So I'm hoping that he can, if he can boot it from 62 yards in Michigan, that's going to be good for us wherever we go. So I'm excited to see him and maybe in a little more high pressure situations. start to have to kick footballs and somehow I don't know who he needs to talk to get the good, maybe Robbie. Hey, how do you not give any F's at all about what's going on around you, and you just keep booting at the uprights. So I hope that translates, into his kicking career, because we need that. We need that next man up guy, and they're hard to find in kickers.
Yeah. Or if Brian Schottenheimer could just put him in touch with Robbie and give him some pointers on kicking in the stadium.
Go to Chicago with Robbie and
pick
up the Navy Pier, because I know I got blown around.
Well, even when the stick was still in existence, I mean, it was like night and day.
Yeah,
it's crazy there. The wind is nuts right there on the water. I mean, at least where we are now, we're inland, but on the point, you're right on the water. You never knew.
Yep.
Fog, wind, cold.
Playing a night game when the fog starts to roll in, and next thing you know, you can't see half the field cold, like the upright is blocked. It was wild at the stick. Oh, long live the stick.
Jake Moody hit a 72-yard field goal in practice.
Yeah, that's great.
That's
everyone looks good in practice.
Yeah.
Come on. I got to see him in a pressure situation.
I was just
like what Rebecca said.
He can make a 52-yarder with 1 second left to go to send us
with that
into
wind
the
starts
playoffs.
swirling. Right now, it's May. It's calm, right?
Right.
Come November, December, when that wind picks up, that's when he's got to prove his worth.
Or when the pressure's on and it's all in your head. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care about the wind and all that. He's probably used to adjusting for those environmental factors.
I agree with that.
What's this factor going to look like or act like?
That's
so
key.
Hopefully, he's got a good head on him for that too. So we'll see. But I'm most excited to see how he, no doubt, 72 yards is huge.
Oh, yeah. That's nothing.
No one's taking away that he almost
yeah.
kicked the entire length of the football field.
Right.
But yeah, no, I don't think they would ever put him in a pressure situation to hit a 72-yarder to win. But hey, if our quarterback can't throw a football and our kicker can kick a field goal from 72 yards, we might just try that once in a playoff history game sort of situation. But, let's never get in that position again.
Yeah. But
Practice
the other rookies
perfect.
I'm excited about seeing is Darrell Luter, the cornerback we drafted. He's long and aggressive. I think he's going to be a key backup on the outside. I see him playing that role, so let's see how he looks in camp. Just against the rookies, other guys, how he looks. And Braden Willis, the fullback, H-back, tight end, whatever position you want to call him. I like what I saw on tape from him. So I think, that's tight end number 2, number 3 of the future, or our future fullback. So I'm excited to see him out there.
Yeah, I'm excited for him too. I'm also excited for Jair Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Really
That's
all
right.
the rookies, like
Jersey boy. Yeah,
exactly. I just want to see them all out there.
Yeah.
I know that they are bringing in a quarterback, Steven Montez.
Mm-hmm.
No, that has nothing to do with Purdy, Lance, or Darnold.
Somebody's going to make it a thing.
Yes.
It.
Speaking of quarterbacks, yesterday was Trey Lance's birthday.
Yep. Happy birthday, Trey.
So George Kittle went and got him a cake.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but I kind of thought Trey Lance wasn't part of the clique.
No one liked him.
Come on.
Yeah.
No
we
one
have
liked
to have
him.
a controversy, right?
No one liked him.
I was waiting for somebody to start saying something that's wrong with the cake, to be honest. I haven't seen that
Take
yet.
Picture, something.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sure
right.
someone did somewhere, because that would be
Probably.
not
I
to.
probably just have it muted.
Yeah, exactly.
Something
no one can
I
have
missed
a happy
finally.
moment. You know?
49ers also signed defensive lineman Marlon Davidson, and they brought back Troy Fumagalli.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited for the guys to take the field. I just have two more things.
John B said the cake was a publicity stunt. You the fool,
That's
bro.
kind of funny.
We want people to think we like him.
And then all for show.
Then we're gonna
it coincides.
Trash him on.
Do you know how many people are going to take that and run with it now?
Hold on. Check it out. They paid him to post that with the cake, and at the same time called Ian Rappaport and told them to quit it. It's all part of their PR plan.
Look at that, Ty. You put it all together.
Boom. You heard it here first.
We're watching Murder, She Wrote.
Let me remove John B's comments so I can take credit for it. Yes, you heard it here first from me.
Ty Lansbury up there figuring out all the clues.
That's right.
Ty's the Jessica Lange of Murder, She Wrote.
I've read the tea leaves. That's it.
Oh, boy.
When I show up next week with a Murder, He Wrote shirt, you know why.
There you go. There's an idea.
There you go.
Inside joke.
Guys, are we winning the Super Bowl? Do we have what it takes?
Yeah.
We definitely have what it takes. We had what it took the last 3 years, I feel like. We've had those kind of teams and just, not had some good luck. But yeah. No, I think we're in it as good as anyone else is. I mean, seriously, our team is as good as anybody else's. That top tier teams, we have just as good a chance as they do. I mean, I would have put us up against Patrick Mahomes, and we would have won this past year. We should have won some Miami. I don't know. I thought last year we got again the playoff game against the Rams. We got gypped. We had a Super Bowl roster then. Yes. We're as good as anybody else, and we could win.
Yeah,
I agree. And it all starts with Kyle.
It does.
We've had the team to win it the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Right. The only thing that stopped us is us. it's like basically injury to the quarterback. That one thing really is what stopped us the past 2 seasons. Injury to the quarterback. Like if we can just get through the season with a healthy quarterback, and I've already stated, no quarterback is getting injured this season. We got it. Our team is stronger than ever right now. So we got this.
John B says we have everything it takes, but we could use like an active roster of 106 players and 17 quarterbacks.
John B, we might have to call you up and get you out there, John B. How's your throwing arm?
Are you ambidextrous? Can you throw with both?
Exactly. We need you in the restaurant throwing potatoes with the right and the left hand to get ready.
One thing I did notice was our emphasis on the secondary. I know a lot of people think that Jimmy Ward leaving was a huge, huge deal. I don't think so. Same thing with Jaquiski Tartt not coming back.
Right.
People have said it was a bit underwhelming. And now it seemed, we bring in Hufanga, Gibson, Brown and Luter each have 10 interceptions coming in. What do you guys think?
Well, I think Brown is definitely going to compete. I think he's going to be, right in there. And I think he's an upgrade for us, from where we've been. Hopefully, he adapts well and picks up the playbook and can translate his skills. But, he seems to have everything we need or want to be in that position. So I think Brown's a good pick for us for sure. And Luter, I think he's got some stiff competition. We got Ward and Lenore and Womack still. So, I think he's going to be lower in the depth chart, where I feel like Brown is probably going to do some rotation behind Hufanga and Gibson. But, hey, we'll see how camp goes. And some people surprise you. Some people, take a little longer to adapt to the NFL. But that stuff will all start to shake out, I think, as camp develops.
Yeah, I think, I think we talked about this before, how the team every few years, just solidifies something on the defense. Like the first few years, this defensive line. And we know how solid that is, especially bringing in Javon Hargrave this offseason. That line is solid, it's tough. We got Coach Chris there. He's our staple. We know we're going to get everything we can out of those guys. Boom. When D'Amico took over, the linebackers took off. That second level.
Yeah.
That's solid. We ain't got nothing to worry about there. We got Fred and Dre and Oren Burks and some younger guys there that are going to fall in line and do their thing. Nothing to worry about there. Now it's the emphasis on the secondary and taking their care of those guys. And really, the secondary wasn't that bad last year. Everyone was frightful. Everyone's always seemed to be frightful of the secondary. Last year, they were solid. We led the league in interceptions, I believe. Right? So they were solid.
For sure.
Yeah, we were up there. We got turnovers. So we're fine. Losing Jimmy Ward, I know everyone tends to panic when we lose a player, just like Jess, you mentioned. Jaquasi Tart left. And I remember everyone was like, oh, bring back Tart, especially when Jimmy Ward got injured in preseason. Everyone's bring back Tart. We stuck to our guns, stuck to what we had.
Then we went and
look how
signed
well they did.
Ward, though. So we filled the hole because we went and signed.
No, we signed Ward as our first free agent to play cornerback, not safety.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, when and everyone, panicked then, but it worked out. Thing we always mention, we always draft for the next year, like not this year. We're not a team of need. So this year, Jimmy Ward was there. He played nickel. Remember, Sammy Womack started off the year at nickel. Mm-hmm. Then Lenore elevated his game and took over. But Lenore had to be moved outside. They moved Ward inside. They wanted to just put the best 11 on the field. So Womack is still there, ready to take over the nickel spot. And as we saw from him, he's a ball hawk. He likes to take the ball away. He likes to get interceptions. Mm-hmm. So I think we'll be fine there. And with the free agents that they brought in as well, I'm forgetting their names right now, but Steve Wilkes brought in a lot of free agents that he's familiar with, that have NFL experience, that can also play nickel. So I think we're going to be totally fine there. It's not going to be panic. And
Isaiah Oliver, Miles Hartfield.
There you go. Thank you very much. See, that's called backup, y'all. That's when your teammate has your back. Boom. Let's see.
Team.
She's Trey Lance. I'm Brock Purdy. She's got my back. Take that, Ian Rappaport.
Ian.
So, yeah, Callie, we don't subscribe to this dude anymore. He's been canceled. So I think secondary is going to get stronger and be on par with the front seven. And this defense is going to be super tough.
I agree. All right. Well, we have a cool guest coming on next week. Next week is also IE Sports Radio's 9th anniversary. So we will be doing a t-shirt giveaway next Wednesday as well. So make sure you tune in. And with that being said, let's go to the hurry up offense and our 2-minute warning.
Oh shit, I wasn't ready. You saw the wink. Give me a signal.
Oh. Do it.
I just told you have my back. I know.
Somebody sent up a smoke signal.
Okay, and go.
Go ahead, Becca.
Well, congrats, Fred and Maddie. We're looking forward to all of your great reporting and content from the event tonight. The Golden Heart Fund event. Happy belated birthday to Trey. And, I'm looking forward to, rookie camp starting and all the things. And especially the schedule drop tomorrow. So can't wait to see everyone at the games. It's getting closer, but first we're going to enjoy summer. So go Niners.
Enjoy the schedule release. Congratulations to Fred Warner for getting the Dwight Clark Award. Maddie, have fun tonight. It'll be a really cool experience, I'm sure. I know he started sending us text messages. I believe he's in a video with Keena Turner already.
With Keena Turner. Slacking on his job.
He's just trying to compete with me. So,
He's got a long way to go, though.
Yes, he does. He definitely does. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Go Niners.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody in the chat for tuning in. You guys were on fire tonight. Makes for a fun show. Real football is almost upon us. At least things we can actually look at, see, observe, touch, feel, and talk truth to. This is an exciting time of year. So enjoy the schedule, enjoy rookie mini camp, enjoy OTAs when they start up because it's going to be good stuff. Go Niners.
Look at that. We got all Maddie's time left. No, yeah, whatever.
And Maddie will say, just announce the schedule.
Yep, just announced the schedule already. All this hoopla. These new I gotta say, this new thing with the TV contracts and the networks having control to be able to bid on the games.
It's crazy.
And they get to announce key games before the schedule comes out. That's too much fluff.
It's nonsense, right? Just
yeah,
and let it be. Like we don't need all.
Come on. Yeah, that's part of what's delaying this thing so much. It's like, well, what do the networks want? Well, what game do they want? Well, how much are they going to pay? Like, it's terrible.
Give us the goods already so we can book our travel.
Exactly.
We just want to
go
afford
last minute tickets.
Right. And not have to pay those reseller prices, let me tell you.
You know what I'm saying?
Shoot.
All right, guys. Enjoy the schedule release. We'll see you back here next week. Next week, we're at 7:00 p.m. Eastern.
That's right. Hour earlier, y'all. So tune in. It's going to be a fun one.
Absolutely.
Wait for the announcement.
Niners.
That's a teaser. See ya.
Keep your eye out.
Of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone.